Today we begin the bedroom makeover. It's not somewhere I thought we would be, but my husband desperately wanted me to patch and paint the ceiling, and it kind of spiraled into many other things. So follow along as we begin our bedroom makeover. Well, hello you guys, and welcome to my bedroom. I know it might look a little odd right now. I'm going to show you guys the full span of the room, but that is because we are under construction. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Courtney. I love all things DIY, thrifting, organizing, and helping you love your home through those ways. And so today we're going to be painting our bedroom ceiling. My family and I recently moved into this 118-year-old home, and we are slowly but surely fixing it up. And although this project wasn't on the top of my list, it was on Brad's list. The very, very top, maybe the only thing on the list. He was like, please paint this ceiling. This is our bedroom. We sleep in here. It just feels dirty. And it was. I just washed the ceiling and the ceiling was dirty. It was gross. So we're gonna make this thing look a lot better and just feel a lot better. And what we had to do was, there was actually not really a drop ceiling, but kind of like in place of drywall, they had put up this square ceiling tile sort of thing, but it was all like one continuous thing. And the investors who had purchased this house had clearly taken it down and then just given up. They were like, we don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to deal with this house anymore. And so Brad lovingly went around and took all of that down. It was just at the edges that they left it. So then that way I can paint the ceiling, we can put trim up to kind of cover the gap between the crown molding and the beadboard, and then it's gonna look so beautiful. That is the goal. So this is just the start of the bedroom makeover. We just want it done. We're sick of looking at it at night, and it just feels dirty. You feel like the insulation from the ceiling is like coming down in the cracks, and it doesn't feel good. So we need to take care of it. And the primer that I'm going to use is, I'm gonna go in with the Zinsser Mold Killing Primer. Now we don't have any obvious evidence of mold, but there are just a couple spots where there's a little bit of what looks like it could have been water damage. We have taken out the parts that need to be taken out, so that's all been taken care of. I'm not just painting over that stuff. But just to be safe, I just felt like, you know what, let's just go ahead and go with this, because it's an old home and you never know. But again, we know that there isn't any obvious mold, and I've washed the ceilings and everything that came off, it didn't look like mold. So, but again, just on the safe side. So I'm gonna go in with this, and it kills existing mold, mildew, and odor causing bacteria. There's no smell in here, but you know, better safe than sorry. So I'm gonna be using a spray gun, which I'm really excited about. It's gonna make this process so much easier. And I'm going to be priming first. My loving husband actually started caulking half of the ceiling while I was working on the pantry. If you guys haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out. I am obsessed. I love it so much. It is so beautiful. I can't believe how wonderfully it turned out. So I'll have it linked down below for you guys. Obsessed. While I was doing that, he was caulking the ceiling, and he is an amazing teacher. He is amazing at telling jokes. He is an amazing dad. He didn't know how to use the caulk gun, and it's my bad that I didn't teach him before he did it. So he didn't know that you press the back to like release the pressure. So it was just kind of like trying to continuously press caulk out. It was a little bit of a mess. So I told him to stop, because I'd rather prime first, and then it's easier to caulk the ceiling, because then one, it'll prevent splinters. So you're not like, if there's any loose wood, I'm not gonna be going against that. The paint will kind of form a layer, and then it'll just be easier and more obvious to see what actually needs to be caulked, which is basically the entire ceiling. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into this. Before we do that though, I need to change my outfit, and also great day to take a shower, am I right? Working with the ceiling. Okay. I feel like an astronaut, scientist, space person. I've also got my respirator, and we are trying out the Von Thorn spray. Oh my gosh, Von Thorn paint sprayer today. So we're gonna give this a go. I thinned it out to the right viscosity. Is that how you say it? And I'm excited to see this room transform. Here we go.
So hilarious thing, you guys, I actually recorded this video in super slow motion. And so I sped it up and now we're just gonna guess what I was saying. But I basically think I said like, oh my gosh, you guys, look at the ceiling. I primed it and it just feels so much brighter and like, wow, it is so amazing. And I'm so happy with it. I can't imagine having done this by hand. That spray gun definitely made it like so much easier. It was amazing. Like, wow, again, just wow. It just took like hardly any time and it was wonderful. I will say too that you want to make sure that you are going both ways with your spray gun, especially if it's beadboard, like go back and forth and side by side because it just helps coat all those little cracks and stuff. The caulking was not my favorite. I'm so glad that's over with. Oh my gosh, you guys. But now we can move on to painting. And I'm painting. Yay. I'm so excited. And I can't wait to clean up this messy room. It is so dirty. You guys, this too was filmed in slow motion, so we're gonna guess what I said. I love it so much. The ceiling is done. I painted it, you guys. Yeah, I painted it, primed it, painted it, trimmed it out, and now, like, can you believe it? Here we are, and it just looks so good. I'm so happy, you guys. Like, oh, it just feels so much cleaner and so much nicer and so much brighter. I do still have to fix the attic door, but for right now, I'm so happy. So now we can paint the walls, and it's crazy because the investor people painted these walls and they did a really horrible job. I'm going to show you that there are like dirty hand marks on the wall, and I think they only did one coat because you can kind of see different areas where, there is some paint showing through that they didn't completely cover it. So that's super fun. And for some reason, the trim is just like really gross and really dirty. So I want to take care of that too because honestly, this room just felt yucky. And I'm so happy that the ceiling's painted, but we really need to take care of the walls and the trim. And then I think we can sleep peacefully at night. So surprise, surprise, I want to brighten up this room. Right now it's like this gray color. My favorite color though is white. So don't be surprised when I put the white on the walls. It's beautiful though. It's calming. It's fresh. And this is Alabaster by Sherwin. Can't go wrong there. I love it so much. And I used it in my pantry and I loved it. And so I'm going to use it here. I just love it. I'm going in with a satin finish. It's just a really beautiful color and I don't want it to be, too glossy. So I think that would be good. And I honestly have no idea what else I could be talking about. Like, what am I really talking about here besides the fact that it's white paint? So anyways, you guys, let's go ahead and get painting because it's white.
Okay, you guys, the ceiling is done. The walls are done. It's looking so much fresher, so much brighter. You might be wondering, am I related to Picasso? Why do I have this in my hand? So the trim, I was originally just going to paint it white like a normal little painter would, but I don't know what it is because I love the color white, you guys. Like, I think I've said that like don't expect a ton of color from me. I really just love doing white, and then everything else is kind of the star of the show, and the white just like calms me and that kind of thing. I don't know if it's because of the windows in here or, just like the excessive amount of trim and doors and things, but it's too white. And I know that part of that is obviously because there's like nothing else in here. There is no art on the walls. There are no curtains and that kind of thing. So 100% it could just be that reason. But I'm also kind of like, you know what? Do I want to be crazy and paint my trim a color? And by color, I mean a slight variation of white, more like a beige color. So I've seen a lot of inspiration on Pinterest, I'll share with you guys, of having white walls with colored trim in the door. And I really like it. I don't love it enough to do it in my whole house, but I was like, maybe for the bedroom, this is something that we could do. So I'm looking at painting all of the trim around the windows. I'm not sure if I want to paint the door yet, 'cause I don't know if I want it to stand out or if I'll leave it, because I did paint it the same color of the walls as the walls, even though you can't really tell. But yeah, I'm thinking that this might be the route we go. So I picked up 4 colors from Lowe's. This is the Sherwin-Williams line. So I picked up Aesthetic White, which is just a beautiful lighter color. I picked up Accessible Beige. This one has a little bit more of a darker tone to it. And then kind of in between those, I picked up Drift of Mist. This is just really beautiful. And then I also picked up Natural Choice, which this one I feel like is the lightest / creamiest, more similar to kind of the wall color, maybe just a little bit darker. So those are the 4 colors that I chose. I don't have paintbrushes. Was I at Lowe's when I bought this paint? And was I staring at the paintbrush wall thinking, I should buy paintbrushes? I sure was. I sure was, but they're $7 each, and I did not want to buy 4 $7 paintbrushes. So here I am using my children's art supplies, and I'm gonna have to wash them in between the paints because I only have 2. So anyways, we're gonna do the best we can with this right now, and then when I pick my color, I'll go buy a real paintbrush. But for now, let's just go ahead and pick the color. I went ahead and painted. They aren't dry yet. I know that that totally changes things. But right away, number 1, which I think is Natural Choice, has obvious yellow undertones, and I don't want to pull the yellow that's kind of already somewhat being pulled from this paint anymore into this room. I really want to neutralize it, and I want this paint to look more white. Number 2 has pink undertones, which makes the walls appear more white, but I don't want pink trim. That would just be way too much. And then number 3 is, this is Drift of Mist, which is just a beautiful name and a really beautiful color. Honestly, I think that this would look so pretty on beadboard, maybe in my kitchen, like who knows? I don't know. Anyways, I just think this is really, really pretty. And then number 4 is Accessible Beige, which was what I had seen in my inspiration photos. So it looks really good in photos. I like it here. It has a little bit too much tan for me though, which is funny because it's kind of what I was going for, but I'm gonna let it dry and see what I think, but I'm currently leaning towards number 3, which is Drift of Mist. It's really, really beautiful. A slight pink, but more on the brown side in the undertone. So I'm gonna wait for the daylight and see what I think. Also what my husband thinks. He may come home and just be like, no, like do white trim. Like you're not gonna like this and I don't like it. I'm still getting used to the idea because it does feel very scary. There's a lot of trim and I wanna make sure that I really actually wanna do this. So if I do pick a color, what I might do is just paint one window and then we can kind of see the full vision before I go crazy. So anyways, yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys are liking or what you would have picked, and we'll see what I end up doing.
So I did ultimately end up choosing Drift of Mist, and I am so happy with this color that is almost not a color. Honestly, it just warms up the room and tones down the yellow that was coming through with the Alabaster, and I'm so happy with this combination. I'm also so happy that my husband kind of forced me to, well, gently and really nicely ask me to paint the ceiling, and it just kind of got the ball rolling on a much needed freshening up of this room. It feels so much cleaner and so much brighter, and we were both so happy. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of the painted trim and also what we should do next in this space. I'm going to be hopping around the house. So next up we have the kitchen, and there's a bathroom I want to do, but this room desperately needs drapes. I want to get a new headboard. I'm kind of done with the farmhouse style that I chose for the bedding. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see where this room is going to go next. So make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already, and I will see you next Sunday for a new video.